Today we're gonna talk about the electrification of vehicles and what that means for cars and the future of cars and the future of the car industry. So
Definitely. I've been a car guy pretty much since I was a little kid. My dad knew everything and anything about something with an engine, and that's how I was raised. He was very much 427 big block guy, growing up in the 70s, and my car experience has always been learning from what he knows and learning together with him. And I'd have to say, like, pretty much, I guess ever since Tesla came out with that the Lotus, but they put the
yeah,
motors in it. It was kind of my first like experience like with, hey, like, is this going to be the future? And obviously it's probably about almost 8-10 years ago. And growing up the way I did and learning about cars, and now it's just kind of peculiar that we're seeing that most major car brands are aiming to make all of their cars electric within the next 10 to 15 years.
yeah, yeah. No, I kind of have the same thing. I grew up loving cars since I was very little. I watched a bunch of car shows, growing up, and kind of my dad had a lot of interest in them as well. And me and him actually, when I was 16, rebuilt a Chevy Silverado C10, and we had the engine retuned to a three from a 350 to a 360, and we that's kind of where that started. And then the first time I remember seeing like an electric type vehicle
Mm.
was actually Tesla. Same thing. I remember when they came out with the Roadster, and same thing, kind of like you were saying. Just being able to see how that worked and see what they were capable of doing, and then also seeing like how Tesla's kind of grown as the car industry and kind of been the spearhead for electrification of vehicles has been kind of really cool because they've been able to push the limits of what you can do. Because for a very long time, people hogged on you know normal electric cars because they didn't have much range, and the electrification infrastructure wasn't that great. And so now I think because of Tesla and their just out of the out of the world ideas that they have with cars and electricity and how they're going about it has kind of just revolutionized the car industry in that matter, and allowed for a whole lot of other car manufacturers to kind of come in and say, hey, okay, we're gonna start electrifying our vehicles, and we're gonna start kind of integrating that into our sales package and what kind of the cars that we offer to our customers. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's a better way forward because when we start using much more renewable energy, we can kind of have a much more cleaner way of travel.
Yeah, and it's pretty bizarre just going from seeing a car that was like, is that a Lotus, and seeing a little Tesla badge on it and finding out it's electric. And now in the present day, that roaster's been rebadged, and now it's a 0 to 60 1.9 seconds. And
Crazy.
as far as like them integrating electric motors into other cars, the Hummer was pretty much a joke. It's just a big, bulky plastic gas guzzler, and obviously got discontinued years ago. But now uh, the company's releasing it with an electric motor, over 1,000 horsepower, and supercar stats, and it's uh, incredibly bizarre to see that. And as to your point about the earlier electric cars, like, I remember my family had like a Nissan Leaf for a couple years, but like the Leaf, Bolt, like all those were kind of struggling a little bit until Tesla really formed it to make it look like a normal car. And I think there was like a lot of stigma because while you, yes, could make a normal looking car that is also electric, companies wanted to make it like a different thing, make it look special, but they looked kind of goofy. They're always very round and stubby, and I mean, they were fun to drive, but now they're pumping out like 600-700 horsepower out of normal looking cars, and it's insane. Like, I watch lots of videos of drag races where either a Tesla or something similar is just destroying a normal supercar. So um, as a kid, I'd go to like the Petit Le Mans,
Yeah.
and it's insane for me to, like, I guess now 10, 12 years later, to see just a normal looking four-door sedan just crush all those cars that would be there. And it's insane, like, and it's really been kind of rejuvenating the market. If you think about it, now you have all these boutique, they're mainly more supercar,
Mm.
electric supercars, but it's creating a lot more competition, a lot more business, and it's also helping regular car brands like Ford, like Rivian's coming out,
Oh
I
yeah.
think, within like a year or two.
Yeah.
And Ford invested a lot of money into that.
Into the Bronco or
And
into the.
with the electric cars, they're infinitely more capable once you take out a transmission and engine in a car. It allows for, I mean, as many creative possibilities as you want. You definitely see um, the I mean, I remember seeing the Rivian, how it has storage spaces within the side of the truck, within everywhere, and you can't get that with a normal electric. I mean, a normal gas car.
No, because the torque is going straight to the wheels.
Yeah,
It just goes from the motor to the wheels, and that's it. And so immediately when you put your foot on the gas, it's like it's right there. It's like right there when you want it. And I think that's kind of a lot of the appeal. That's why we're seeing some these like insane 0 to 60 times. Like
mm-hmm.
you a car that you take your kids to school in the morning can go 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. Even 5 years ago, that was like what? No, who? That's crazy. And like Tesla coming out with their new Plaid series, like 1.9 seconds
Yeah,
is insane for a four-door sedan.
and then
That's
they have
crazy.
that SUV version that's going to be pretty much right there. I mean, I read it was about 1,086 horsepower
Yeah.
out of your family SUV, the same one that you put the kids' sports equipment in and drive around. Gonna walk any car on the street.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. So that's there's a lot of innovation, a lot of things happening. I can't wait to see what's coming in the future for electric vehicles and like the electric infrastructure here in the U.S. I know in other parts of the world it's gotten a little bit better, but I just can't wait till here the the wider variety of options for electric vehicles, and maybe we can see more sporty, more kind of two-door, two-seater, suit cars like that. Um, for normal everyday use that aren't exactly supercars, but are kind of like normal everyday cars. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
my hope, because like that's kind of the interest that I have. But yeah, so I can't wait to see that. But thank you for listening.
Yeah, appreciate it.